So while we were staying at an Airbnb on the central coast of California, a white man called the cops on my son Leo. And it was a really scary and disturbing experience for all of us, of course, especially for Leo. In case you don't know, this is Leo. He is a sweet 14-year-old biracial boy with special needs. And it is my hope that by sharing his story, that it provides an example of the type of racism that Black people have to endure in today's society. And I think it also serves to provide an example of how white privilege functions. So one afternoon, Leo was playing on the balcony of the house that faces the street, and he has a very creative imagination. He loves playing haunted house, and he was acting out a game with a toy plastic machete, when all of a sudden the white neighbor who lives across the street diagonally came over, ordered Leo to come downstairs, and then he pounded on the door. And when my friend opened the door, he started yelling at Leo and cussing him out and saying things to him like, "You better fucking apologize, and if you don't apologize, I'm calling the police, and I'm getting you out of this rental tonight." And then he didn't give us a chance to explain. He stormed off. I tried to go after him and told him it was a misunderstanding, but he wouldn't listen to me. And even though Leo apologized, he still called the police. So when I saw the police arrive, I went and sat down on the front porch, waiting with my heart beating in my chest, trying to appear as non-threatening as possible. At one point, they picked up their radio and called something in, and I got really scared at that point, thinking, oh my gosh, are they calling in more police? What's going to happen now? And so after they talked to him, they came over, a white police officer and a white sheriff came over to talk to us. Well, thank goodness they were understanding and courteous. And I asked them if they wanted to talk to Leo. They said they did. So we showed them the plastic machete. They said that it was obvious that it was a toy. And then a Latino officer came over kind of from nowhere, it seemed. So they must have called in more police officers, and he also talked to Leo. When they finished talking to us, they went over and they said they were going to explain the situation to the neighbors, so they left. But that night, Leo had nightmares, and I couldn't sleep at all. And we were all on edge the next day, keeping the curtains closed, keeping Leo off of the balcony, making sure he wasn't on the yard. And Leo kept asking me things like, "Mom, why was that man so angry at me? Why did he want me to go to jail?" And I asked to make sure. I said, "Well, Leo, when was the first time you saw him?" And he said, "Just when the man ordered me downstairs." So one thing I've been thinking about is, how lucky we are that things didn't escalate after the police got there. I followed the man out the door. Hector, who's 18, also came after me. And he was really angry, rightfully so, that that man had cussed his younger brother out. But I said to Hector, "Please go back inside, let me handle this," because I was really scared for his safety, because he's also Black. And I thought about what would have happened if this would have occurred when I had been at the store, just as I had the other day. Also, what would have happened if I was Black? I know I certainly would have been a lot more scared for my safety. So this is what it means to have white privilege. It doesn't mean that, I've had an easy life or things have been handed to me. It does mean that I was able to talk to the police knowing that I probably wasn't perceived as being threatening. But Leo and Hector, on the other hand, they don't have this privilege. They have to go through life with people assuming that they're dangerous. And in fact, there's been at least 3 other occasions that someone has said that Leo was harassing them or was afraid of Leo when he was just playing a game. And every single time, this was by a white person. And this time, Leo was playing with the plastic machete. Maybe this man was truly afraid. But if so, why didn't he call the police from the safety of his own home? Why did he feel like he had the right to come over, pound on the door, and cuss my son out, who's a minor? To me, that's white privilege and entitlement in action. And this is the type of thing that Black people have to endure day and day, over and over again. And if white people stay silent, then they are complicit in the harm that is done and in institutionalized racism in general. And so that is why I'm making this video. I can't stay silent. And if you would like to also help dismantle racism, I encourage you to check out a really cool nonprofit organization called the Mosaic Project. And they teach both adults and children about concrete ways of how to see beyond stereotypes and prevent discrimination. And Airbnb, by the way, has really good anti-discrimination policies and really good articles on how to be an ally. So it is my hope that my white friends and my white family will join me in being allies for Hector, Leo, and all Black and brown people. Thank you for listening.